Everybody understands, at least on some level, that the ear is responsible for our ability to hear. However, the ear also plays a role in allowing us to keep our balance. In this video, we will discuss how these functions are performed as we move from the outer to inner ear. The outer and middle ears are only concerned with hearing. Let's start with the outer ear. The outer ear contains the pinna or auricle, which is what you think of when you picture an ear. The outer ear also contains the ear canal, where sound waves are directed by the pinna towards the middle ear. The ingenious design of the pinna not only directs sound waves into the ear, but allows us to locate the source of the sound, as it will take a longer time for a sound wave generated from the left of you to reach your right ear compared with your left. The ear canal serves to protect the eardrum, and it does this both through its curved shape, which makes it difficult for any object inserted into the ear to reach the eardrum, and through the production of earwax, which removes dirt and other particles from building up.
As the sound waves travel through the outer ear, it will reach the tympanic membrane of the middle ear. This is more commonly known as the eardrum because it functions similarly to a drum kit. The membrane is a thin layer of connective tissue and will vibrate once it encounters the sound wave. The vibration will further be transferred to the three bony ossicles, known as the malleus, incus, and stapes bones. These are also respectively known as the hammer, anvil, and stirrup. The effective area where the sound wave hits on the eardrum is about 21 times larger than that of the stapes footplate. Thus, the force caused by a given sound pressure will be concentrated down these ossicles, amplifying the strength of the signal. Another important component of the middle ear is the Eustachian tube, which connects the middle ear cavity to the nasopharynx. Its main function is to equalize air pressure buildup between the middle ear and the atmosphere, as well as mucus drainage from the mid-ear. Pressure differences may cause temporary hearing loss due to decreased motion of the eardrum and the ossicles. These tubes open when you swallow, yawn, or chew. So why do we need sound waves to be amplified? Why not have the sound waves enter directly to the inner ear? Well, it's because of something called impedance. When sound waves travel to different mediums, like air and water, there will be some energy loss due to these waves getting reflected. And since the cochlea of the inner ear is filled with fluid, it is necessary to have some sort of mechanism to overcome this. This is the job of the middle ear. Therefore, when sound waves travel from a low impedance medium of the outer ear and mid-ear into the high impedance medium of the fluid-filled cochlea inside the inner ear, there will be significant reflection and loss of energy. For hearing to occur, the function of the middle ear to amplify oncoming sound is necessary, otherwise only small amounts of acoustic energy would pass through to the inner ear. This process is called impedance matching.
Now we're up to the inner ear. Let's start by asking, what is the inner ear? It's called the labyrinth, and there are two parts. One, the cochlea, the snail shell-like structure, and two, the semicircular canals, three loopy-looking structures. The magic of hearing, that is the conversion of physical vibrations into electrical signals, occur in the cochlea. If we were to unroll the cochlea, it would look like this. It all starts with the connection from the middle ear, the stapes, to the oval window. This is where vibrations are transferred into the inner ear. The ending of the fluid-filled chamber is called the round window. There are three main chambers. The scala vestibuli and scala tympani is filled with perilymph, and the scala media, or cochlear duct, is filled with endolymph. Note that scala means space. When we take a look at the cross-section of the cochlea, this is what we get. The magic action of receptors are at the organ of Corti, so let's take an even closer look. On top of the basilar membrane are supporting cells that support hair cells, and on top of that is another membrane called the tectoral membrane. Pressure waves causes the basilar membrane to vibrate in relative to the tectoral membrane, and so this activates the hair cells to send an action potential to the brain. Therefore, you are able to hear our beautiful voices. Another important factor is that the frequency of sound detected is specific to the location of the hair cell, high frequency at the base and low frequency at the apex. If we directly stimulate specific locations of the auditory nerve in the cochlea, then any damaged region in the inner ear is bypassed, thus giving hearing to people with profound hearing loss. This is what cochlear implants are based on.
Alongside our body's amazing ability to hear via the receptors in the cochlea, other receptors in the inner ear play a crucial role in helping us to achieve a sense of balance. Our sense of balance in general terms can be understood as a sensation that helps coordinate our body so we don't fall over while performing various feats such as dancing and spinning, and movements such as walking and running, but also when we are just standing. This sensation is potentially made possible due to afferent signals sent from the inner ear, eye, and the spine, which are then processed by the nervous system that may then produce efferent signals, which are sent to various muscles in the body to in turn coordinate our movements and achieve a sense of balance. From the osseous or bony portions of the labyrinth of the inner ear, there are two main structures that help us detect our sense of equilibrium, the semicircular canals and the vestibule. Inside the osseous portions, the membranous portions of the labyrinth form the semicircular duct, which is inside the semicircular canals, and the utricelle and saculae, which are inside the vestibule. It is inside these membranous portions where the receptors for equilibrium may be found, that synapse with the vestibular nerve. The semicircular canal contains the receptors which are associated with the detection of dynamic equilibrium. This refers to the sensation of balance during rotational movements. The semicircular canals consist of three ring-shaped structures that are named the anterior, posterior, and lateral semicircular canal. All three canals reside in planes which are approximately 90 degrees to each other. This allows for each canal to detect specific forms of rotational movement. Inside the semicircular canals, the semicircular duct contains fluid known as endolymph. As our bodies move, this endolymph fluid also moves, but in the opposite directions to our body movement, due to inertia. Similar to how when you're in the car that makes a slight right turn, you sometimes may sway a little bit to the left, due to inertia as well. At the end of each semicircular canal, there is an enlarged end known as the ampulla. Inside the ampulla, there is a region where cells are clumped together in the form of a ridge. This is known as a cristia ampullaris. At the cristia ampullaris, receptors in the form of hair cells are found, which are encased in the jelly-like structure known as the capilla. The movement of endolymph triggers the movement of the capilla, which results in turn the bending of the hair cell receptors, which triggers the transmission of electrical signals to the vestibular nerve. The rotational movement of head moving up and down, such as when you're saying yes, is detected by the receptors in the anterior semicircular canal, whereas the rotational movement from side to side, such as when you're saying no, is detected by the lateral semicircular canal, and also the rotational movement from the head tilting sideways is detected by the posterior semicircular canal. The utricelle and saculae both contain a region known as the macula, where hair cell receptors involved in the detection of static equilibrium may be found. Static equilibrium refers to the sensation of balance when you're at rest, such as when you're standing. In the maculae, portions of the hair cells are enclosed in a thick membrane known as the otolithic membrane. At the top of these membranes, there are calcium carbonate crystals known as the otoliths. These are short for ear stones. Under the influence of gravity, these crystals clump together on certain sides of the membrane, which results in the membrane being pulled in the direction of the clumped otoliths. This in turn results in the bending of hair cell receptors and thus triggering the generation of electrical signals that are sent to the vestibular nerve. From the vestibular nerve, the signals from the hair cell in the semicircular ducts, saculae, and utriculae are sent to the brainstem alongside signals from the eyes and the spine, where they may then be processed in the vestibular nuclei or other areas of the nervous system, and in turn generate efferent signals to coordinate muscles and achieve a sense of balance. Motion sickness is thought to arise from contradictions between information from the ears, eyes, and the spine, such as when you're spinning on a chair. Your ears seem to detect a rotational movement, whereas your spine does not seem to detect any sort of movement whilst in the chair. However, currently there does not appear to be any concrete explanation as to why motion sickness occurs.
This video has covered the ear's role in both hearing and balance, from sound waves being directed down the ear canal, amplified and impedance matched through the ossicles and into the inner ear, to the function of the semicircular canals at 90 degrees to each other, allowing for the perception of movement in all three axes.